internet connectivity. So I would say that this is cosmetic. Whether you give it IP connectivity, whether you give it a Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, it is not going to improve the quality of the product. It only increases the cost of the product. And of course, for us, we are interested in understanding how data is sent across. So that way, yes, it was learning. But if you ask me whether just by adding the connectivity, can I sell a product? No, you can't sell the product like this. You will sell only the product which is very close to the golden standard, which is the HP. The paper which I am referring to is the HP golden standard for the blood gas analysis. And the method we are using is absorption spectrum. The absorption of the red light by the hemoglobin, or the infrared light by the hemoglobin, is used to compute the oxygenation in the blood. So if you want to find the bilirubin studies, then you can use the red and infrared, the red and green. If you want to find out the sugar level, then use the monochromatotic light with the polarization. Methods are same, basically the source and the detector. And you can make for diabetic patients, you can make a instrument which is non-invasive. Today there is no instrument in the world which is non-invasive for the diabetic patients. You have to prick and take the blood out and put it in a syringe. But if you want to really make a pulse oximeter and a similar jaundice test, as well as the diabetic case testing, you can make an instrument of that kind. And that's where I thought probably the faculty of this IIT and the students can be of great help to us. Study of the website where there's a Raman effect in physics, which can be used for detecting the sugar in the blood, Raman scattering. And there is also this polarization effect, where we consider light as a dual nature, which is a particle nature as well as a wave nature, and you can plane polarize the light beam so that oscillations are only controlled one plane, and this plane changes depending on the sugar concentration in the blood, and the intensity therefore varies, and therefore you can find out how much is the blood sugar without taking the blood out of the patient's body. And that's going to sell like hotcake, because you find the number of diabetic cases are much more than anybody else. The idea here is that you must have a source, you must be able to manipulate that source, like modulate that source. You have a detector, whatever modulated frequency you are using for the source, you must have the identical frequency for the detector, and then you can extract the information for. You can have 8 wavelengths of it. You can have carbon dioxide monitoring, carbon monoxide monitoring, any other gases in the blood. You can detect by taking different wavelengths. Instead of only red and infrared, you can take red, infrared, then IR, UV, and then other colors. Like if you take a monochromatometer, it is basically a source of different wavelengths. And you can do a number of gases. Like this instrument which I am referring to in this paper is 8 wavelength gas sources. With single wavelength, you can only find out whether the person is having enough, is a good heart rate and good pulse rate, and whether the blood is flowing properly or not. But if you have different wavelengths, you can find the different gases present in the blood. Is then the dissolved case. So I think I could have gone for maybe for a full day with the remaining papers, but that's not that important. What I've done is in the folder here, I've got about 9 different papers related to this pulse oximeter. You can go through that, you can go through block diagram, but don't use that block diagram as your starting point. You think of your own, like what exactly is the hardware available to you for designing in your lab, and go around to that. Somebody can say, only if I get this micrometer, I can design an oximeter. No, it's not that. I can design an oximeter without micrometer also. So think of the different methods. There is not only one particular brain. There are different methods of doing the design. I mean, you have a design. You must know what is the methodology I'm adopting, what is the algorithm I'm going to use. Once you know that, implementation can be your choice. Or you can use the new cases. Now you get the PSOCs, where you can put the analog circuit, the digital circuit, the microcontrollers, everything on a single chip, including a DSP. You get a FPGAs with a DSP implementation on a FPGA. So if you want something like a moving average, you can easily implement it on a DSP. Here you can build a software. You know what you're doing. You take first 50 readings, add them up, then go from second to 51, then third to 52, and so on, and then you get your high frequency translate filters. For DC filtering, you just subtract that from the original signal to get the DC shape. It's simple, but digitally it's very easy, but it takes time. So on this board, we designed separate one processor for IO application, one for AD conversion, and one for the external world. So you want a Bluetooth or a internet or whatever it is. And then that is the cosmetic. I still repeat, the internet connectivity, data sending from here to America or anywhere else, it doesn't really make sense. If your data is not good, why do you send it? First, concentrate on improving the quality of data in terms of the accuracy, resolution, precision, resolution and sensitivity. If your sensor has no sensitivity, don't use it. Find out the best sensor. So I would prefer to take a break at this point of time. And maybe if there are any questions, I would like to answer them. And
are you going over software part or?
No, regarding software, I have some my own sort of ideas which I would like to share with all of you. See, today, a person of my age, for example, I cannot go and start learning a scripting language like a C or C++ or what the world has here to do like LabVIEW or a MATLAB, I can do icon-based programming. Once I connect icon of ADC to a memory icon, then what happens is the automatically generates a C code for taking data from the ADC and putting it in the there are memory blocks, there is a ADC block, there is a filter block, just put them on the screen and connect them to a wire. You get a C code generated for it. So if the product is designed by me, I will not use a scripting language. If you are going to learn a language, fine. I mean, using a language makes it always more efficient than this graphical language. But you find that many doctors are good programmers. They don't know the language, but they know the algorithm. So if the algorithm is known, I think language is actually, I mean, this is my personal opinion, you may differ. And you can also correct me. And I would give importance to the algorithm and the hardware and dividing the software into blocks. For example, somebody has to know how to create a stack from the data. Create 3 different stacks. That's the problem given to you. You got 4,000 readings or 3,000 readings coming to you. I want 3,000 readings to be put into 3 different stacks of 1,000 readings each. That's one software module you can develop. Second person can say, on this stack, I would like to make an operation of finding out the maximas and minimas which are local and global. Third person can say, okay, once I found the maxima and minima, then somebody can say, okay, now I will use the maxima minima in my formula and find out the log of this IAC upon IDC, right? Fourth person can say that what is to quantity, now I go to the division and get the value of R. The fifth person can write a module of using that R into the linear equation of S cubed is equal to A minus B into R and find out the S cubed. So the software task can be split into 5 different subtasks, and then one person can integrate all these things and write a main. That's what the approach I normally take. The entire software is to be split into 5-6 different subroutines and then ask individually to concentrate, and you can create a test data for yourself and test that subroutine on the test data. That's it. Once it works on the test data, it will definitely work with integrate. Maybe minor, synchronization you should be able to take care of. And the data should be available for doing the physical operation. Even the software can be done parallelly. You have multi-threading, that's it. Okay, but that becomes only at the higher level. For the control level, you have to go on this equation. So I would rather use 2-3 controllers in the same product to do 3 different jobs. Rather than the same controller looking at the I/O board, same controller looking at the display, same controller looking at the internet connectivity, I would have different controllers doing the different job. They are working on the same database. That will be the approach. And I am trying to convert this product into a mobile-based, mobile phone-based. I want to have this entire instrument talk to a mobile phone. And as a default screen, you must get this data on your mobile screen, the pulse rate and the oxygen level. So the sensors can be variable. It has to be the wristwatch or in the fingertip here. And that's all. Then it has to talk to your mobile, and mobile has to fix interval of time, send this data to your doctor or a central repository where the data can be stored. This is exactly what I would like to implement as a part of the healthcare project in India. And I would welcome anybody who is willing to work on such projects. Do you understand what I'm saying? Once the instrument is ready, you just have to make connectivity to the increase by the internet or Bluetooth or mobile. But today we are talking about replacing all the hardware in this place with tablets and mobile phones. You take any standard tablet which you get from here. It's called a tablet. Acer and all these people make these tabs. Samsung tablets are Apple. So you can add this Android based system. So you must also know how the Android programming is to be done. And my request is if you can learn Python language, that will be the best. It's better than C in terms of the readability and easy to write. Don't ever try to write assembly programs for the ARM. It will never give you results. It's quite easy. And you don't really require that type of assembly programming for Anything beyond 8051 or 8525, I don't think it's implementable. You have to go for cement or lamin. There are compilers available for C++ also. Any other questions? Sir, yeah.
So how you are saving my sequentially quantizing, converting digital to things and compared to parallelly.
No, it is like this. If you have three ADCs working parallelly, then you have red signal, infrared signal, adult signal going at the same time to all the three ADCs. Right? So you don't need a sample converter because there are three separate AD converters. Whereas if you have only one AD converter, then you must see either red or infrared or ambient. So you require three sample converters. And they have to be operated sequentially. First red, then infrared, then ambient. But if you have three ADCs, you need not. Three independent ADCs happen. But then imagine, if you have three ADCs, you have to read 12, 12, 12, 24 lines you have to read. So you require more resources.
So but we are showing this data.
I'll give you an example. You know 8051 timer, you have two timers, right? You can operate them parallelly. You can operate the two parallel things. Either sequentially you can operate, if you want timer 1, then timer 2. Or you can have timer 1 and timer 2 both started together. That's called parallel processing. Parallel counting. So you have parallel AD conversion. I'm not talking about parallel ADs in that sense. There's a method of parallel AD, not that. I'm not about flash ADCs. I'm talking about AD process or AD conversion process itself doing parallel for all the three segments together by using three independent AD converters. I'm sorry, I should not use the parallel AD. Parallel is different. Parallel is like you have 8 comparators giving the same signal and giving 8-bit data. I don't mean that. I mean 3 12-bit ADCs working parallelly on 3 different signals and giving the data at the same time, but the cost of base in terms of the number of port lines that they require. Ideally speaking, serial ADCs are the best for this. Serial ADCs, they are quite fast. In 3 serial ADCs, you require only 3 port lines to receive the data. I hope I answered your question. Maybe I have not understood your question. The parallel AD conversion method is different and parallel processing for 3 AD converters is different. Anything else? You can get this board from, there are many, I personally don't believe that now you should spend time in designing the hardware, but you get this board ready. You choose what you want, take a general board like this. These are all plugins, you can just remove them, you can put that in the microcontroller. There are 3 microcontrollers we can see here, all assembly devices. One can be looking at I/O application, one can be looking at the internet, one can look at the Wi-Fi or you get Bluetooth solution on the single chip. Okay, and remember, most of the pieces will have only USB ones. You will not get serial port. So remember, your design instrument should take a USB connectivity mandatory for your product. Okay, and RJ5. That is for you. Is that okay? Yes.
How does gas detection process happen?
How does?
Gas detection process.
You're talking about the chemistry of it? Sorry, I don't have the papers right now, but I will mail it to you. There is in biochemistry, when you have oxygen forming oxide with Hb, it becomes HbO2. But then the O2 has to be released again. Because Hb has to remain in the blood for the next inner ring. If you consume everything on Hb, then you will not be able to make use of the oxygen which is present in the second breathing cycle. So there is a chemical reaction. Unfortunately, I don't have the paper right now with me, but that's a separate part, it's biochemistry part. But I'll send those papers next time. You can give me anybody's email ID. It's on my internet. My email is there. Any other questions?
So what the we can find by light property.
I told you, using light you can find out the bilirubin percentage, not this. You can also find the sugar content in the blood and the all different gases. I mean, this paper you can go through it. You get different wavelengths and given for different gases. But infrared and red, you get only the oxygen. There is a different wavelength for bilirubin, different wavelength. There are two wavelengths required minimum for any That level decides and this is where the gas which are resistance. Every time you count monoxide or some other gas you can detect. Basically, you are looking at the light from different levels. Here in this case is red and infrared. You put the red, blue, IR, UV, whatever it is. It's more towards analytical chemistry. The instrument which are spectrophotometers. You read that, what gases can be detected by different levels. So ideally, you see the market you got all the levels very important. And with a very narrow bandwidth for each one. There's a good amount of literature available. I think more than about 70 PPTs are available on the net on pulse oximetry. And about 20 PDF documents. After the speaker which are easy to understand. And there's a book by pulse oximetry, one of the very reputed hospital in the US. It's a medical the category. And pass on all this information to you.
Okay, thank you very much. You have plenty of time to go to your dinner. Okay, now in your one of the criteria for the grade is continuous. What's the word? Continuous improvement. Continuous evaluation. That's one continuous improvement. For that, you are writing the paper. That's one. Plus, you are attending 3 seminars. If you want credit for this seminar, send me one paragraph, what you thought about it, what the seminar was about, and if you want, you can give me evaluation of that. But how many we have?
So there are a lot of papers also that would go through the papers.
Yeah.
Okay, we have got about 33, 35 attendees here. I don't want 47 responses. Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you.